Good morning. I have a story for you this morning. It's a sad story, but it has a happy ending. And it's not just a story, it actually, I don't know if you, it is a story, but it has a value for you. So watch, listen, and I will tell you. So if you are on the replay, you can say hi. If you're here live, say hi. Let me know. Is your story of your life right now, is it a sad story, a happy story, or do you know that you create your own story? So if you feel like it's a sad story, send me a sad emoji. Oh, I see. Yay, thumbs up. That sounds like a happy story. Or a smiling emoji. Or, yeah, if you know you create your own life, send me a fire emoji or a heart. Yeah, hearts and likes. Those are awesome too. So I was journaling this morning. Everybody journals, right? And a story came up for me that I remembered from my life, and it had a huge impact. And so I wanted to share it because there's value for you at the end. So you have to listen to the story to get the value. When I was a young lass of 22 years old, I wanted to be a picture book writer. And so I was a school teacher, and at the time during the summers I would do a lot of time writing, and I had finally written this manuscript of this picture book that was ready, it was done. I was so naive in those times. I had my little writers marketplace. If anybody's a writer, you know, like back then, I didn't have internet. I did have a computer, but like America Online, I don't even think that was a thing yet. This was like 1992, 93, a long time ago. So I had the big book where you figured out who you were going to send your manuscript to. You had the agents, had the publishers. And so I sent it to one publisher. If you're a writer and you know, like, you're looking for an agent or a publisher, you don't just stop with one. But as I said, I was naive. I thought I would send it to this one publisher, it would get published, it would just be massively wonderful, right? So what happened was I got a letter back, a handwritten letter from the editor of this publishing company about my story, Samantha Jane and the Magic Bubble Wand. Yes, it was a masterpiece. And they actually encouraged me. I can't remember who they were or anything now. It's been so long ago. But they sent me a handwritten, encouraging letter that it was a great book, but it just wasn't the right fit for their publishing company, and that I should pursue other avenues with it, you know. So what did I do? Oh my gosh, you guys, what did I do? Being a young 22-year-old, I thought that rejection meant that I sucked as a writer. And I didn't write again for probably almost 20 years. Yeah. That was and when I finally got back into writing, I learned that getting a handwritten letter from a publisher, even if it's a rejection, is a good sign, because a lot of times you're going to get a form rejection if they take the trouble to send you any rejection at all. A lot of times they say, if you don't hear from us, then guess what? We don't want you. So anyway, that was me, 22. Sad story. I didn't write again for a long time. And even when I did, I was really timid about it. But, the internet had came about, and I learned that, one no does not mean no forever and for always and whatnot. And yeah, maybe I should have picked that up when I was 8 years old, but I share this story for a couple of reasons. One is because I think I'm not the only person who does that. And even now, when I'm stepping out and doing something new and sharing my work and the things that I do to create a better life through Facebook Live, sometimes I'm like, I'm wasting my time. Nobody's watching. People don't understand. They don't get it. So I should just quit. Or, I may have made a boo-boo and sent out 100 plus emails to every one of my blog subscribers on this little oopsie when I uploaded an app, and it sent out like every podcast I've ever done, which is quite a few. And if you haven't listened to them, you might want to Adventures in Alchemy, iTunes, or if you go to Daily Alchemy, click and find the podcast, because there's a ton of free content there. But I digress. I digress. So anyway, I've made mistakes since then that make me want to run and make me want to hide. But I remember that I ran and I hid, and things didn't work out the way that, they could have if I had acted differently in that time. So that's the sad story, right? But, now I know better. And is that the end? No, that's not the end. That would be the end if we were non-magical, normal people. But we are magical people. And so we know that changing our thoughts changes our reality, right? And we can't change the past, or can we? I'm not talking necessarily about actually literally changing the past, but I don't know if you're aware of this. And if you're not, Google it. It will blow your mind all to pieces. But memories are actually just memories of memories of memories. So what we think happened in our past and what we remember is just a memory of a memory of a memory. And guess what? Do you remember that little game called Telephone, right? Where you went around the circle, one person said something, and the next person whispered it, and the next person whispered it, and the next person whispered it. It got all the way around the circle, and it was a totally different freaking story. Have you guys ever played that? We had so much fun with that when I was a kid, because, we might say my shirt is red and we come around to the elephant is dead, right? Well, you're doing the same thing in your mind. Your memories are memories of memories of memories. If you don't believe me, you can Google that. Look it up. It's scientific. It's not even crazy magic crap that I talk about. Not crazy magic crap. Anyway, so what does this mean? What does this mean? You can change it. Oh, sorry. There's a sound on my phone telling me that I have a new job. Turn that off. So if your memories are memories of memories of memories, and you have a memory of somewhere where you took a wrong turn, where things went wonky, and you didn't take the action that now in the present, with hindsight, you wish you would have taken, what can you do? Guess what? You can create some new memories. Someone told me this story, and I wish I could remember who. So if anybody's listening and they're like, I've heard that from someone before, let me know so I can credit them. I always like to credit people who teach me things. But there was a man, and they went through this process with him of remembering how things happened. And he had some really bad back issues that would not get better. His back always hurt. And they stemmed from the fact that when he was 8 years old, he was swinging on a swing. And the swing fell out from under him. He fell to the ground, injuring his back, and had back pain for the rest of his life up until this moment where people are saying, maybe you can change the past, right? So can he go back and not fall off that swing? Not necessarily, but can he remember it different? Because remember, memories are memories of memories of memories of memories, right? So he started doing a visualization exercise for however long, I don't know. He did it every day, I believe, where instead of the swing falling out, he swung on the swing, got up before it broke, and it didn't happen. So, your brain can say, but it still did happen. But here's what happened with this person. His back got better. My belief is that he tapped into that energy stream of the person who that didn't happen to. Because I'm a big believer that in parallel universes, parallel lives, different membranes, if you're interested in that, that is science also. Google membrane theory. I am not good at explaining that. You could I need to bring on my daughter, who's really good with physics, but I just read the science, barely understand it, but I get what I need to get to do what I need to do in my life. And so knowing that there is more than one version of our universe, parallel universes or membranes or whatever, there's another you who didn't do what you wish you didn't do, or who did do what you wish you did do. And so when you change that memory, you can access that energy. at least this is my belief, and there are some other books and things on that, and I'll try to find some and link here, but the fact of the matter is we don't necessarily have to know why. But for you science geeks, I understand you, because my daughter is one. She needs to know why. You can Google that stuff, and if you have a science brain, you will figure it out. Google membrane theory, Google I see hearts from science brains, Google also observer effect too, which is a little bit different. But anyway, so that's a real thing. But what I do is, if something comes up when I'm journaling or something, as did this story this morning, for some reason it popped into my mind, the story of me being this sad little 22-year-old who had sent in her manuscript and got rejected and thought that was the end and didn't write again for a really long time. So I decided that in my meditation, in my visualizations, in my journaling, I'm going to write out that story of me as that 22-year-old getting that rejection and not going, oh no, I suck, I'm never going to write again, going, oh, this is great news, I got this handwritten rejection and I'm going to send this out to other people, and I'm going to write more and more and more, and I'm going to visualize that story, and I'm going to write out that story. Does that mean I'm going to wake up in the morning and have all these books that I sold and I wrote in those past 20 years? I don't think so. I mean, it's possible. That happens in some weird movies and stuff. But what I think can really happen for that is I can tap into that energy of that membrane, of that person, that version of me who did go on and do those things. And what is that going to do for me? I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see, actually. But I feel in my heart that that can give me a lot more confidence in my writing now. And it's just going to shift me into being that energy of that person who's not afraid to take action in face of rejection, which is a wonderful skill to have, right? Because we all get rejected, and it really doesn't say anything about us, because, you know, I think it's Leo Buscala. I'm going to mess up his name. But anyway, you know, like he says, I'm a beautiful, juicy peach. However, some people do not like peaches, and that's cool. There are people who are going to love you. People are going to hate you. You're always going to be rejected by someone. But you have a gift to share. You have a dream to make come true. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you quit when you were 20 and you're now 75. You know, another fun thing that you can Google is people who didn't get started until very late in life. And there are so many. I'm not going to try to list them. You know, Grandma Moses is one that people talk about, because I think she was in her 70s or her 80s before she ever started painting. If you have a dream, then you have the means within you to create it. And if you have some old stories or old memories that just hold you back and keep you in that energy of stuckness. Sorry, my dogs are having a craziness right now. I'm just going to ignore them and hope they stop. Okay. I'm going to open the door and let out a dog. Sorry. They're just going to keep barking. It's not a live stream until the dogs bark. And my dogs have this story, okay? I have a male dog. Let's see. Can you see him? Yeah, see? He's an a-hole. I love him, but he's an a-hole. And he sits out here to stalk my other dog. And I keep telling her she has this same problem. That's why it's happening. She has this memory of when she comes outside, he's going to jump on her and stalk her. And so I try to jump him away, and I keep telling her, Lily, be in your power. Be in your power, and don't let him keep you from doing what you want to do. So it's the same thing I'm telling you. Don't let old stories, old things that happen keep you from doing what you want to do right now. So to wrap up, yeah, if you have any old memories like that where you just were at a crossroads and you believe you took the wrong crossroads, or even if you're like that guy who had an accident and got hurt and now you still live with that pain, just with a really light touch, play with visualizing or journaling out, writing the story as if it happened differently. And I like to do it with no expectations of what's going to happen, just to shift my own energy. Because really, if you shift your energy, that's enough to change how your day goes, and maybe how your week goes, and who knows, maybe how your next decade goes, right? So yeah, just play with shifting that energy. And if that's something that you need help with, it's something that I've been practicing. I started and hey, that's the good thing that came from this. Whenever I was this young 22-year-old, I started reaching out for spiritual help to get through, these feelings of rejection, feelings of depression and anxiety and crap that came with it. And in all honesty, I might say, and I used to think that there was a genetic component to it, and maybe there is to a certain extent and for certain people. But for me, I really think those feelings came because I wasn't being myself. I wasn't in alignment with my true self, because my true self is a writer, and I quit writing. But if you need help with that, I will put a link in the comments. I do have some openings in my unlimited audio coaching. It works with the phone. There's an app on the phone, and there's also an online space, a private online space where we share documents back and forth, or videos or whatnot. But most of it is done audio, where I'm coaching you to decide what you want to create in your life, and helping you to step into that energy every day, because that's really all you have to do. Once you step into that energy and act from that place, you're going to know what actions to take. You know what actions to take to create what life you want. So the life you have right now is from the energy that you're projecting right now. You're taking those actions based on who you think you are. You may have decided by default who you are, but you get to pick. If you so desire. I mean, well, you did pick. You may have picked something that somebody else put on you, or a limiting belief. But I would encourage you to pick something good, right? Because you get to pick. You get to pick who you are, and the energy that you're going to put out into the world, and how you're going to interact with everybody else. So, yes, part of me really wishes that when I was 22, I kept going and I kept writing, but I can still pick up where I left off on that energy and take that forward into my life now. And I'm a big believer that everything happens perfectly, even if I don't get it from my limited perspective. And the me who went off and kept writing picture books might be quite content, but the me right now, the joy and the bliss that I get is from helping people change their lives. And I'm not saying that picture books can't change your life, but for me, daily alchemy is the way. So I'm getting ready to click off of here and go do some of the stuff that I need to do today in the energy of this person that I'm claiming to be. And I recommend you do the same. If you're interested in the coaching, I'll put the link there and you can check it out. And if you have questions, you can message me or email me. So have a magical day and write your own stories, right? Remember, memories of memories of memories of memories. You are magical. You get to decide what happened, or happens next. All right. See you next time.